We got our first Hockey Ultimate Team event in NHL 24, HUD Headliners. I'm going to do my best to explain this thing. Bear with me. Let's start first by taking a look at some of the event cards. There is a mass reduction in total amount of cards given out for the event, but we'll start first with the 80 overall Phil Kessel, 5'11", 208 with a Sniper Forward Synergy. The Sniper Forward Synergy is one of the better ones in the game. It's given out to anyone that has the Sniper build, but at age 35, one of the faster HUT cards every year, it's finally caught up to him. 84 speed, 83 acceleration, 80 agility. Everything else is extremely low as well. He's an 80 overall card. This is probably better used for the Vegas Golden Knight team builder sets, as you can get him for around 2,000 coins and below. Not one I would really chase after and use unless you're a fan of Phil Kessel. Next, we've got the 80 overall Mark Giordano from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, going for under 2,000 coins. 82 speed, 82 acceleration. So right off the rip, you're basically not able to use him as a skater. He does have okay defensive awareness with the two-way defensive synergy, which I think is one of the better ones. But regardless, he is just like Phil Kessel, better used for team builder sets if you were to get him or just sell him. Rasmus Dahlin is up next, the 84 overall, 6'3", 202, left-handed defenseman. He's going for about 20,000 coins, and this one is actually the first of the non-master set players. That is interesting. 85 speed, 86 acceleration is not great, but you have to remember that because progression is so much lower this year and every card is starting much lower in terms of overall, 85 speed is like the new 87 speed in prior years. He's got an okay shot. Defensive awareness is great, up above 90. Again, for anyone that does not know, defensive awareness stat dictates how good they are at intercepting passes, which is obviously extremely important. It's got great size as well. At 20k, it's not a terrible card to go after. Then we've got the 85 overall UC Saros, 5'11", 180. Unfortunately, he is just still going to be so hard to use in game because small goaltenders, they just have not figured out a way to make them as impactful as their bigger counterparts. He's going for like 15,000 coins, the base cost of what 85s are, roughly around that. He's got good speed, and Butterfly Effects could be one of the better abilities, but there's no way, unless you are a fan of UC Saros, to go out and get this card. And then lastly, we've got the 85 Alex Ovechkin, 6'3" at 238. He's going for about 35,000 coins. He also has the Sniper Forward Synergy, which makes his shot all above 90, which is fantastic. 85 speed, 85 acceleration, and 83 agility. He is a really rough skater. Does have 85 body checking, though, and 89 balance to go with the fact that he's 6'3", 238, so he can hold on to the puck quite well. Especially with how people are having a hard time adjusting to hitting in-game. It's very difficult to knock a card like Alex Ovechkin off, but you're going to want to pair him with someone who's obviously much faster because 85 speed, acceleration, and 83 agility is going to make him a little bit slowed down when compared to other fast right-handed wingers like Matthew Barzal or Nathan McKinnon. On to the Master Set players. This is week 1 of a 2-week event. We've got 4 MSPs. We'll start with the 86 Marie-Philippe Poulin, 5'6", 161 with Sniper Forward and Shooting Boost. She's got Make It Snappy and Born Leader. Now, Marie-Philippe Poulin in NHL 23 was actually a pretty good card, but it was mostly due to the fact that she had gold unstoppable force, which made her extremely hard to knock off the puck regardless of her size. 87 speed, 89 acceleration, 87 agility is fine. However, for the cost of a Master Set player, I don't see any way that you can justify it unless you are a fan of the player. And I'm going to say this all year round. Please make your favorite players. Forget about the meta and competitiveness. I know this video is going to pertain to people that want to get a competitive advantage, but please take your favorite players. In the end, this is a well-statted card, and if she wasn't 5'6", 161, if she was 5'10", 180, it would be really good, but this is essentially a worse version of Braden Point's X Factor, for example. Next, we've got the 86 Alexander Burrows from the Vancouver Canucks, the two-way forward and shooting boost synergy, which helps out his shot quite a bit, as well as his defensive abilities. He's got gold off the rush, which has been one of the more useless abilities in game, simply because it will not activate regularly. You can try and shoot it off the rush, and sometimes it will activate, and sometimes it won't, even if it's roughly around the same spot. He does have silver close quarters, though. He's got 87 speed and acceleration, 90 agility with the boost, 87 balance. His shot is in the mid to high 80s. Hand stats as well in the mid-80s. If he was a centerman and had a good face-off rating, I think this would have a lot more value. But because he's a pure left-handed winger, I think that there are just far better options out there for you, unless you are a Vancouver Canucks fan. On to Alesh Hemsky from the Edmonton Oilers. One of my favorite players when I was growing up. He was on those Oiler teams, especially the one that went to the Cup Final. 6 foot 177. He's got agile, dangler booster, and playmaking forward with gold elite edges. And with the synergy boost, he gets up to 93 agility. At launch of the games, guys, Elite Edges is such a fantastic ability. It essentially makes you feel like your player is not on a server-based game, it's on LAN. Your left and right cuts keep full speed. It is such an advantage. But as the year goes along and everyone else's agility kind of catches up to the big boost you get from it, it loses its value a little bit in comparison to some of the other abilities. But at launch, it is far and away one of the best offensive ones and defensively because it is activated without the puck as well. That being said, he's got 88 speed, 86 acceleration. The agility can get up to 93. His wrist shot is 88 and 90 in terms of accuracy and power. And then his hand stats are actually fantastic, all in the mid-90s. Hand-eye is at 89, but passing, puck control, offensive awareness, and deking, all in the mid-90s. Body checking's 81, and defensive awareness and stick checking on the defensive side of things are in the mid-80s as well. He is a pure right-handed winger. This is definitely one of the more usable right-handed wingers in the game, especially if you activate Elite Edges. And then lastly, from the Pittsburgh Penguins, we've got the 86 overall Brooks Orpik. 6'3", 217, defensive defenseman and defensive boot. And in combination, makes him one of the best defensemen in the game currently. 88 speed, 85 acceleration is a little rough, but the 88 speed is nice when you consider the fact that he's got gold truculence, which is the best defensive zone ability in the game. Even his shot is in the mid-80s for a defensive defense. Now, his hand stats are absolutely brutal, 71 deking, 81 puck control, but I'm actually okay with that because that makes this card seem like more of a build as opposed to just all of the attributes are somewhat similar. Then you look at his body checking, which is 95, with synergies activated. Defensive awareness can get up to 98, stick checking to 96, which is incredible at launch of the game. Defensive awareness, again, one of the most important stats in the game. And stick checking. The higher the stick checking stat, the faster and more accurate when you hit R1, it makes your pocheck. Of all the 4 Master Set players currently out, Brooks Orpik is the easy number 1 pick for me, and a card I'm considering making. Now, here's the issue. It's making the players in NHL 24 that seem to be a massive change from prior games. Now, I'm going to try and do this in order of trying to create a player because it is just so insanely complicated, so bear with me. If you head into sets, you will see the new Hut Headliners event set. Scroll all the way down, and let's say you wanted to create one of the players. Brooks Orpik, it will require you to make one Hut Headliner collectible, just one. That will get you the 82 overall, and the same goes for the other 3 Master Set players. Now, acquiring a Hut Headliner collectible, there's a couple ways to do it. The first is by trading in various overall players to acquire those collectibles. You can trade in 8 gold player items, so it could be any gold player. You can also trade in 7 80 and above player items, 6 81 overall player items and above, and finally 3 82 overall players. Now, if you are going to make one of these sets, please just go and do the math. For example, it will require 3 82 overall players and above. Right now, 82 overall players on the PlayStation 5 market are going for about 1,800 coins, which would be 5,400 per collectible. In contrast, the market is in quite a bit of a flux right now because it is the first event, and there are other various implications I'll talk about in just a little bit. The 8 any gold players will actually run you 1,000 coins each, which would mean that collectible would cost you 8,000 coins. So just go in, do the math quickly, and figure out which one is the cheapest if you are trying to make this set. Now, that will get you your one Headliner collectible that you will need if you were to make one of the Headliner Master Set player items. Now, here is where one of the bigger changes to NHL 24 kicks in. Once you have made your 82 overall Headliner, to upgrade them, it has changed. The second tier will cost you 10,000 coins. The third tier will run you 15,000 coins or a power-up collectible. That's right, it does not require event collectibles anymore. It will require the standard power-up collectible, the same ones used for X Factors and power-up icons. I personally like this change simply because it makes it unified. It makes it simple. There is one important collectible that will allow you to upgrade all players. It's simple, clean. I like that. On top of that, it also adds another wrinkle in, but I'll get to that in a second. Tier 4 will cost you 25,000 coins or another power-up collectible. And then finally, to get him to his 86, it will be 50,000 coins or 2 power-up collectibles. Now, getting gold truculence on him is going to be extremely important, so obviously you would want to do that. So let's do the cost, because we have to figure out if these cards are worth it. And this is going to depend on a lot of different situations here. So if we do the math, it costs 5,400 coins roughly to make the 82 overall card. To get up to an 83, that's another 10,000, which brings our total cost to 15,400. This is where things get interesting depending on your situation. A power-up collectible currently, that value is sitting at about 35,000 coins per collectible if you were to make it. So obviously 15,000 coins is much cheaper, and let's say you don't have any power-up collectibles, so that brings our total to 30,400. The next phase will cost you another 25,000 coins. Now we're at 40,000 even, and the final tier will cost you 50,000 coins, bringing the total to 90,000 coins to build the 82 and get him all the way to an 86 overall. Now, obviously, that is a little jarring, but when you consider prior games and the launch Master Set players, because those overalls were higher, it was more expensive to make them, meaning that a Master Set player for under 100,000 coins was essentially unheard of. You have to remember that because progression is different and we're starting lower, that doesn't mean this card is not worth it for 90,000 coins. It just means that the values are a little bit different. But there's really no way around it. This card is the best non-team builder defenseman in the game right now, and you can have him for 90,000 coins, which I think is an okay value. Also, remember that when you're done with him, you can also refund him all the way back, meaning that you would end up getting 50,000 coins back if you were to break him all the way down to his 82 overall. So you're essentially costing yourself 40,000 coins to rent him until you are ready to move on from this card, which again, I don't think is a terrible value. I also want to touch on the training camp to Hut Headliners set. This is a new set where you can trade into 85 overall training camp players. So this would be a fully upgraded Dmitry Orlov or Matt Dumba, Max Domi, for example, and you will get a random 86 overall Hut Headliners player. It will be a master set version. However, because it is random, the only one that would be of anywhere near close to the same value would be Brooks Orpik, but it's still not even close to being worth it. So this is a hard avoid for me. And if we're being honest, I kind of think Dmitry Orlov, for the cost that he requires, is probably a far better option than actually making Brooks Orpik, but Orpik has a much bigger size advantage and gold truculence instead of silver. But just to show you the value of that training camp set, it'll cost you 4 gold players to get the 81 version, another 5,000 to get him to tier 2, 10,000 for tier 3, 15,000 or a power-up collectible. However, remember, you are going to lose that power-up collectible. And then finally, another 25,000 coins. It's nowhere near the correct value. Now, I want to talk to the players that have been grinding since early access. If you had followed my How to Get Ahead video, you'll know that I recommended doing the moments and then getting the rewards enough so that you can help start working towards the power-up icon and X Factor objectives. And again, the reason why I recommended that is because the massive amount of coins that you earn while completing these. 175,000 if you complete all 10 of the objective path. But the bigger advantage potentially is the fact that you earn a power-up collectible for every single one. So if you have been grinding, you will probably have a couple power-up collectibles in your inventory, and that completely changes the value of these Master Set players for this event. Because of the change to power-up collectibles being what you use to upgrade event players as well, if you are someone that has 2 power-up collectibles in your inventory, you can pay the 5,400 to get him to his tier 2 to get the actual card, 10,000 coins to get him to his 83. However, instead of paying the 15,000 or the 25,000 coins to get from tier 3 to tier 4, you can use 1 power-up collectible and throw them into each of these slots. The reason why you can do that without hesitation is because when you refund and break down one of these cards, and the same will apply for every other type of upgradable card, X Factors, icons, the training camp players, if it only requires 1 power-up collectible, they can't half a collectible. So while they will take half the coins that you put in for that upgrade cost, they can't take the collectible, meaning that you're essentially just renting out this card and putting the 2 power-up collectibles you've got as a resource as a placeholder. So now, if you've been grinding those objectives and you have some free power-up collectibles, you're at 15,400, put in 2 power-up collectibles here with no fear of losing any, and now you've got an 85 overall, which is far better value. That final tier, however, you do not want to throw 2 power-up collectibles in there because power-up collectibles have a value of about 35,000 coins. The final tier, you want to use 50,000 coins because when you decide to break them down, you will get 25,000 coins in return. You'll get both of your power-up collectibles back and another 5,000 coins for this second tier, which means in total, if you are someone that has multiple power-up collectibles available to you, it's going to cost you 30,400 to rent this card until you are ready to move on from it. Again, I think if you are going to play the game regularly, Brooks Orpik would really be the only one that I would consider to be okay value to go this route. And maybe Alesh Hemsky, but there are a lot of fast, good skating right-handed wingers, but there's also a lot of Alesh Hemsky fans, so I expect to see a lot of him. This is where things become a mess. So, in sets, while they did simplify things by having event cards upgrade with power-up collectibles, they decided to undo all of that and make it 10 times more confusing by adding in 4 new collectible types for us to earn. If you head over here to the modes set, you will see that there is now 5 new sets for us to cash in collectibles. You will see live moments, hut rush sets, squad battle sets, rivals sets, and diamond sets. Now, in each of these, they will have various rewards for various costs of that collectible type. For example, it'll cost you 5 diamond collectibles to get 1 power-up collectible, or a Jumbo Elite Players Pack for 7 diamond collectibles. And this goes for all of the other ones as well. We will earn these collectibles throughout our weekly resets in Rivals and Squad Battles, as well as any time that there are new moments. Hut Rush, I have no idea because Hut Rush is a complete mess, but Hut Rush is what they consider to be bronze, and the rewards are much less than the diamond and what you can earn in Rivals and Squad Battles anyways. And finally, we get to my biggest disappointment of this whole thing, because it does look like there is the potential for a solid format here, but in its current state, has basically undone the last 2 years of all the improvements they brought in Hockey Ultimate Team, and I'll try to explain it. So in the Headliners objective, I will go through them all. If you complete 10 moments, you will get 6 live moment collectibles. Again, the live moment collectibles are things that you can earn by doing moments that come throughout the year now, and I will show you the headliner moments as well in just a minute. Playing 25 games in Rivals, Hut Champs, and Squad Battles will get you 4 bronze collectibles. Playing 50 will get you 3 silver collectibles. Completing 30 games in Hut Rush will get you an Icon Alesh Hemsky player. And now you might say, hey, getting the Master Set player for 30 Hut Rush games, sure, that's awesome. However, it is not his Master Set player. It's actually his 78 overall Icon card. I gotta say, if this card comes up on the marketplace for anything under 10,000 coins, it's probably worth it to just grab that than having us forced to play 30 Hut Rush games, because there hasn't been any improvements to Hut Rush at all. It is still the same play with CHLers or various vague objectives. There's no love or support for it. The rewards have gotten even more minimal, and this is just such an odd way to get this card to work towards another objective by playing the least played mode now. So I'll show you what to do with this Alesh Hemsky in just a little bit. The next one is play 75 games and you will get yourself a gold collectible. Then you will see 2 down here. Take 100 shots with any Alesh Hemsky card, so you can do the 82 overall Master Set version or the free one you would get from playing 30 Hut Rush games. 100 shots will net you a Jumbo Premium Pack. And then this one that I'm just convinced has to be a mistake. 100 goals with an Alesh Hemsky card will net you a Diamond Collectible. I gotta say, the amount of Squad Battle games on Rookie that you would have to play to score 100 goals with that card, when you include the fact that it costs 500 coins to reset a Squad Battle game, I'm convinced you'd probably lose money in terms of the value you would get from 1 diamond collectible. Nonetheless, if you collect everything, you will be rewarded with 3 headliner collectibles. Now, in past years, getting a bunch of event collectibles would mean that at the end of that objective path, you'd be able to make a Master Set player. But instead, in this game, the only thing that these event collectibles can be used for is the 1 required to make the 82 overall. So after completing all of those objectives, your reward is 3 82 overall players. Now, taking a look at the Hut moments, this was honestly one of my bigger fears. There is a Hut moment for every Master Set player, which is fantastic. That is what I wanted to see. However, the rewards for completing all 4 of these moments, you will receive a live moment collectible, 1 gold player, and 500 coins. It is the same for every single one. I will never understand why they would not just give us the 82 overall player for completing each of these moments. They could be on Superstar, make them somewhat difficult and challenging, but at least we earn the card for completing their moments, and it would be much more of an engaging process. Instead, we get 2,000 coins, 4 gold players, and 4 live moment collectibles. To put into perspective what that is worth, if we go over to the live moments set, the 4 live moment collectibles from doing those moments will net you a mini pack. That is essentially your daily login pack. Now, if you were to take the 6 that you also got from doing the objectives, you'd be able to get a base pack. Honestly, the best thing here, we don't really understand how all of the collectibles are going to work and what their value is. I wouldn't use any of them, and I would wait until more stuff comes out and then make this diamond collectible with 15 of them. So in all honesty, we're going to have to wait until some of the reward cycles start to happen to know what we have here with these new sets. Like, for example, we don't really know how many rivals, rewards, and collectibles we're going to get that we can cash in for these packs and things like that, depending on your division and what tier you end up hitting. We have to wait and see how many we actually acquire for these sets to get a full look at it. But in terms of what we earn from the event, it's essentially nothing. Which brings me to my biggest criticism. In NHL 23, we essentially could earn our way to getting a free Master Set player every event, allowing every single player to get involved with the event regardless if they spend money or not. It did require a lot of engagement and a lot of playing of different modes, but in the end, we were still able to acquire the actual Master Set players. That is simply not the case in NHL 24. As it stands right now, without spending money, it is such a significant investment for free-to-play players, I'm not really sure how you're supposed to do it. But potentially the biggest issue with this event and what has happened is what they've done to the value of cards that are 82 and above. Since headliner sets have no point other than just making the lowest tiered Master Set player, there's no need to cash them in. On top of that, they've completely decimated the value of cards that are 83, 84, 85, and 86 overall, because even if you packed that card and say you did not want Sidney Crosby's base item, there would still be a base level of value simply because it's an 84 overall and you can trade it in for more collectibles than you could with, let's say, an 80 overall. It's clear that power-up collectibles are going to be the main source of upgrading players, but as it stands right now, 82 overall and above cards are the highest tier, which means 83s, 84s, and 85s have plummeted in price because they are of the exact same value if you don't want that card. If that doesn't change, we have essentially gone backwards in Hockey Ultimate Team. Now, for everyone that has been holding onto your cards, like you should have been, if you see 83s or 84s or 85s that are significantly underpriced, honestly, I'm investing and I'm holding on. I don't see any way that EA does not release sets over the next little while for at least an 83 overall and above power-up collectible set, because if they don't, they've just destroyed the value of those cards. Now, I apologize for being so negative on the launch event day of Hockey Ultimate Team and NHL 24. I've really enjoyed my time in early access. I've enjoyed Objectives 2.0 and grinding towards the content as a completely free-to-play player. However, what we've seen today, it looks an awful lot like Madden, where the pay-to-win gap is just so significant. Today was a brutal day for the people that don't spend money on the game, and I hope that changes. Thank you guys again for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I'll be sure to answer as many people's questions as I can. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.